And he called everybody. He called his secretary come out, the boss come out. And I jumping like a deer. Like a deer jumping in the air and I running and I bawling, Lord, 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 Lord. I wasn't bawling, I bawling, Lord, 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 Lord. Because every time I get hurt, that's the name I was called on, the Lord, Lord, Lord. And before my very eyes, you see these fingers here? They became normal. All over bawling and it pain, it was really pain. Pain, 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 pain. When the secretary and them come out, and they come out, they're going to rush me now. They don't call it, they call it, what they call it? Not nursing home there, they call it medical center. They was taking me to the medical center in Orlando. They're rushing out to take me there. And when the boss comes, he say, Richie, Richie, let me see your hand. Richie, let me see your hand. And he hold my hand. When he watched it, the fingers became normal back. But the pain was there. And I was just jumping, jumping, jumping like a jumping jack. Running. And I don't want nobody touch the hand. And I only saying, Lord, 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 Lord. I remember that. I could never forget these things. When the white man who was there, Rob, he came and he saw the finger, he watched the finger, and he said, Rich, he said, your finger, he mash up, your hand, he mash up. I see that with my eye, I see your finger mash up. I said, Robbie, Jesus is alive. Jesus, he said, yeah, Rich. He said, look at your finger, not even the nail get blue. He said, and he tell me that, he said, the Lord is with you, Rich. Rich, the Lord is with you. I left Orlando because of certain circumstances. I leave because I had 2 children here with a wife. I come back to Trinidad. She was a Hindu, I am a Christian. Right? I remarried again. But when I came back here, I got a divorce from she to go there and marry somebody and get my papers. And I didn't go through that because that is something that when you get somebody, they only wanted money. And I said, no, I could take this money and come back home here in Trinidad and make myself something out of myself. So I come back home. That marriage, about 15 years ago, I got that divorce. It's about 15 years we got that divorce. When I come back here, I tell my wife, then wife, right? In them days, I say, let me get back married. She said, no. She been a Hindu, eh? She said, no, I'm not getting married to you. So I asked she why. She said, no, well, you go back again now. When you leave and go back, you're done divorce already. So you go back and you see you get your papers again. I hold on for 2-3 years. I said, well, let me get married. I don't want to go back nowhere again. Let me come back and get married because we're living in fornication. We're living in adultery. Let me get back married. She said, no, you have to get somebody else to get married. It's then and only then I realized that she had somebody else while I was there. I come back to Trinidad, I buy a brand new maxi on the road. I work for a lot of money. I said, take night and make a day. Work for the money, save it and send it back here. I buy maxi, I buy house and land. Cash. God bless. That, I didn't buy that. The Lord bought that for me. One day my father, who was alive then, he tell me that. He said, son, and I learned that. He said, when God gives you something, you don't owe for it, son. He said, son, let me tell you something about God because he knows the Lord. He said, when God gives you something, you don't owe for it. He said, but when he open a door for you, you walk through and you take a loan. He make a way for you. But when he gives to you, you don't owe. God don't. He said, God give to you. He give you look a brand new maxi on the road. He give you a house and land. You owe nobody a cent. He said, barely you doesn't anybody. He said, that's because what the life that you're living now, you're living for the Lord. He gave that to you, son. He said, look around this area and see if anybody ever accomplished things like that. He said, God give you. You see, you are owing nobody. My brothers and them turned against me because of that. The whole generation, the whole family turned against me. They could murder me even until today because I stand in the truth of God. I stand in the truth. When you're a Christian, you're the first persecution from your own. Your own, who you grew up with, you eat in one plate, you drink in one cup. And when a person turned to Christ, I never did know that, but I read it in scriptures. He said, I have not come to bring peace to homes. I have come to bring a sword. to place a sword between brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, they are the ones who start to be fighting among one another for my name's sake. Because there is one, when one in that family stand up for Christ and really begin to live that life, everybody will stood against them. The best friend that you have does hate you, does begin to hate you because they are not your friend. I begin to live and I begin to live the life. And after that, at the cemetery I was talking about, with my father's funeral, I cut it short. After my father's funeral, remember that rope I was telling you about? I began to swerve the rope in my hand, like this, while letting it down the coffin. It's the most amazing testimony. I have experienced that. I have experienced that. I ain't not telling nobody what they tell me. That's what happened to me. My nephew.
1 more minute, and the reason why is I gotta save this battery. I only have one battery. I have to record a video in Kokia.
Okay, I'm going to cut it there.
Yeah, man.
So what this message that I'm giving, I never knew what is God's grace. I went to a lot of pastors and they tell me they don't know what is that. Even in Faith Center, they tell me they don't know what is that happened to me in the cemetery. But one pastor who came to Pastor Jogi's church in Marabella, he came from away as an apostle. Where he came from? Texas somewhere? I can't remember the place. And he, when I tell him, he called for healing. And I went up there and I gave him that testimony. But I didn't tell him it was me, I tell him it was somebody else. And I would like to share that with him. What is this? And he told me that is God's grace upon that person. God's grace.
Fantastic.